So I have tried a few times to film this. The first time I managed to film this and then went to download it to my computer so I could edit and do all that, and managed to delete it off the card before I moved it to the computer. So it was gone. Yeah, well done. And the second time and third and fourth time I've tried to film this, people keep showing up. So let's see if fifth time is the charm. Let's get going. I am in my back porch right now. Right now this houses all of our bikes. Not my favorite layout, because what I would like to do is turn this into a little backyard haven for me, like a little rocking chair, that's the goal. But as of right now, we don't really have a place for the bikes yet. That is going to be a work in progress, because I would like to turn this shed into the bike shed. So that's going to be our project for this week. We have some bikes that we rescued from dumpsters. The boys have fixed them up and we're trying to sell them. So lots of this. There is wood under here. My husband rescues wood and then he brings it home, and then it's just covered with tarp until we can do something with it. We have a fire pit back here. This is mulch for my husband's work. And then, let's see. This is a rescued rabbit hutch. We've used this, but it does need repair. But it was free, and it works really well. The door needs to be replaced, but it works really well. And so we grabbed it, and like I said, we've used it, but it's not well for our property because if you see, there are no fencing on our property. And so we have some neighbors that let their dogs run loose. We've called the police on it several times because I really do not feel comfortable with loose dogs in my yard. Alright, what else do we have here? This is blueberry. I planted this last year. This is an Elliott blueberry. Serenity Farm, who is in Illinois, so she's the next state over from me, recommended this variety. And so I put them in pots, which supposedly is not what you're supposed to do. But I did, and they survived the winter. So we're going to see how well that continues. And let's see, what do we got? Okay, this is a thornless blackberry. This also was planted this past year, and it's got some volunteers in here, but it's doing okay. I've got some new growth here going. Probably not as great as my raspberries. Now my raspberries are let's see. I don't know what kind of raspberries they are because a lady from church gave me a whole bunch of raspberry starts. And again, I just potted them because I wanted to be able to move them where I could. We were trying to create a fence out of sunflowers and potted raspberries. But this is a new addition, this drive that my neighbor put in, and the trucks that come through just tear through it. So we've lost several pots of things. So I've got lettuce and 2 things of spinach. According to my burpee package, I have to say these do not look like spinach at all. But we wrote Sodbuster lettuce. This is a lettuce from seed we saved last year. And this is spinach. I think it's a burpee spinach. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see, my son's in this bed planted carrots. So we'll see if they come up. This is our compost, and it's a cold compost as of right now. Haven't really been able to find the stuff we need to get that going. This is a strawberry bed number 1. We have some strawberries, as you can see. Does anybody know what this plant is? It looks like a parsley, but I'm not sure what it is. We have another raspberry plant in here. We have a raspberry plant in here, a raspberry plant back there. This one was dying. I didn't think this one was going to make it, but it did, and it's taken off really well. There's another raspberry plant here, and another one here. This strawberry bed is doing marvelously. And this is my garlic. So a friend gave me a bunch of garlic, and back in September, I believe, I planted it, and it came up sometime in March, beginning of May. So all that I planted definitely did not come up, but a good portion of it did. And I believe this is called pennycress, which is what Serenity Farm said it recognized. And a friend of mine was trying to help me figure out what it is. So I think between those two experts that I have in my life, we're going to call it pennycress. That's some dead nettle. This bed has my green onions. They just aren't doing really well. I actually had about this half bed full, and just over time as I cut and use what I need, it just is what I get. So we'll figure that out. Beets are coming up. You can kind of see some beets. I think some of this is stuff that I've planted. Some more strawberries, some more pennycress. These are the peas that have actually come up. So we actually had 2 or 3 rows of peas here. And most of these, I'll have to look at my list. I actually created a list of exactly what brands of seeds we've been planting. But I'm pretty sure this one is M.I. Gardner. And so, like I said, I think we planted up to about here. So half, yep, because you can kind of see where it took off on this side. So about, well, most of them I would say came up. Of that, some more raspberries. Like, we will be set on raspberries. This is another rabbit hutch that we rescued, and this one would be really good for multiple rabbits. So that's kind of the idea there. This I would like to kind of put some potting up here, but we'll see. Gee, I wonder who wants to be a fireman in this house. Another raspberry. This one's kind of a bed that I need to take care of. So we've got more pennycress, we've got more raspberry, we've got plenty of dandelions in here, and some weeds. I'm not sure what this is, but it gives like these little purple flowers. Some trash. Here, has the water. And this is another strawberry bed. Now, you can see that the strawberries here aren't doing as well, and I think part of it is just because it is so overgrown right now, and I really need to take care of it. And then in this bed, we had different lettuces. We had more beets. I wanted a ton of beets this year. I really love beets, and it's one of things that are just so good for me. But yeah, you can kind of see the lettuce kind of got, I don't know, our rows, I don't know if like a wind came and like pushed them all. I have no idea, but that's lettuce. That's lettuce. We had some carrots in here too, and those, I don't know where those are. But, and then those are 2 sugar snap peas that I brought up from seed. And so here's the interesting thing. These were started indoors, and they're about so big. So let me get a little bit closer so you can see. About yay big. Started indoors back in first week in March. I remember my sister was here when we did that. I will get you the dates on when these were planted, but these were probably 3 or 4 weeks later, and they are about the same size. So there's interesting experiments on that. So this is my backyard garden, and just kind of where we are right now. In that, we'll probably be using whatever space we can for more greens and whatnot. Here's that one plant again. It looks like it could be a, I don't know. I thought it was some kind of strawberry for the longest time, but I don't know. This is my elderberry, and it came back pretty well again. See, there's 2 loose dogs back there. This happens a lot, and it's very frustrating. What else? What else do we have? So around here, we've been trying to build up this bed. Okay. So this has different, so these I believe are some kind of mints that my daughter put in, I believe. I'll have to get back to her on that one. This was going to be a potato bed, but yeah, that's not going to be a good idea. So we're trying to get potatoes going in here. And so far, the weeds have just loved this so far. My daughter put in a bunch of flowers in here. She really just wanted this huge floral garden this year. And so we'll kind of see how that goes. The bed along here, just to kind of, oh, it's up until that plant. That's mint. It's a chocolate mint, I believe I got from my friend. But up until here, there are tulips. Just kind of making a little bed. That's her little fairy garden she's building. And then in that colander, that is from seed cilantro, and we'll see how well it does. We'll see. So this is kind of just more of a weed mess until I kind of can figure it out, because, you know, I'm planting stuff and then we're pulling up weeds, but I think we're pulling up the seeds too. The floral seeds I'm just not doing super great with. In here we have some more tulips. Some tulips that keep getting pulled up. Not sure why. And then in here, this is mostly like tulips and some herbs that we put in. But again, we're just going to see what happens. We're just going to see what happens. Let's see. Okay, so in this bed, my son wanted some sunflowers. So he put in sunflowers here. And that's pretty much what this bed has. For a while, I had these two lilac in my pots. I planted those last year. I had them out there by the front of the house because I really wanted to have like this little arbor that enters into our yard with these two lilac on either side of it. But my son keeps having to move it in order to mow, so I either need to put them in the ground or find another solution for this. So my husband's not too keen on me digging up the grass. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And then lastly, I have these two here. This was mint last fall, so we'll see if it comes back. And this is our rose bush. Johnny! So we have a lot of ground here, and there's just so much that I would like to do with the space, but just doing what I can with what I have where I am. But this tends to be more of where the kids play, and it works out mostly because this is also where it floods a lot. So we kind of have a slope going down at an angle, and then it just kind of collects mud along here, and it kind of goes back into this. So kind of these trees here line the property for us this way, but it creates a pond every time there's a rain. So we've got lots of pond. Usually this is a much more soaked area. We're supposed to have more rain this week, so this literally turns into a pond. And again, it just slopes, and that's the kind of way it is. Let me go this way. That's the kind of way it is back here in our property. So, alright, so we have this level and this level, but then it just slopes down. Now, this is something that my husband was looking for when we were purchasing a house, because he knew the rains out here kind of create more floodish zones. Thankfully, this house was not in a flood zone, so our insurance wasn't higher. But a lot of the ground just slopes here, and this, one of the reasons we have the raised beds is because that is a squishy mess when you walk through. Kid was spray painting without the cardboard, so that's what that is. But I'll see if you can hear it when I walk through. I don't know if you can hear it with the dogs, but it is just a squishy mess when you walk through here. So we do know we can get another box here and maybe one a little bit this way, and then we're probably done for here. A couple ideas that we thought were This still gets a little gushy, but it also has a slope, so we could try to utilize some of the stuff here, but the city often walks through here, especially if they're doing any kind of pipe work, which they did for months when we first moved in here. So not sure that it's the best thing to do. We'll see. So that's my little homestead right now, and like I said, just doing what I can with what I have, where I am, and a lot of it's just learning. This is probably the first year that I've done most of this, 95% on my own. My husband hasn't really been able to be a part of this. He's just so busy. So it's a little nerve-wracking because he's usually the one that I'm like, okay, everything like blossoms under your fingers, and me, we'll see how this goes. So hope you enjoyed it. So this is May 2nd, and so this is my May garden update. This weekend is Mother's Day's weekend, and everybody says to plant on Mother's Day weekend. Some people say Memorial, but my neighbors are all saying Memorial or Mother's Day, so I'm just gonna follow that. So I will give you a mid-month update just to see what we have gotten planted and what I've researched and all that. So I would really like this garden to be successful this year and just kind of learn a little bit more and put it under my belt. But a lot of it is just a lot of YouTube videos that I'm watching and then trying to see how to implement it. Because again, I can take all the knowledge, but learning to implement in the situation I'm in is a little bit more creative. So that takes a little bit more of a learning curve. So thank you so much for watching. Yes, I am in a jacket talking about planting. I'll see you in my next video.